Naomi Wolf's latest book, Facing the Beast, is all about how she was canceled, wiped off social media for her outspoken stand on what was going on during the COVID pandemic and the loss of our liberties. My name is Lydia. This is the Feng Shui and Bazi Chinese Astrology channel. Often on this channel, I like to read the charts of famous people because I think it helps us to better understand our own charts and our own lives. Welcome. If this strikes a chord of interest for you, please subscribe, like, and hit the bell so you don't miss a single video. Oh my gracious. So I will say a few things about this chart. First of all, I want to say a thank you. I have been a feng shui consultant, a master Bazi Chinese astrologer, also called Four Pillars, for over 20 years. And for the past few years, I've been building this channel. So again, I really appreciate you subscribing and sharing these videos with people that you know that might also be interested. But I'm also at my core a writer and a storyteller. And I really prefer to share charts with you that are interesting and have a story. Naomi's definitely does. I also wanted to say this book that I am currently reading of hers for a book group has really put me many days in a wretched mood, which takes a lot. I'm a pretty peaceful person. This has brought up a lot of triggers for me around what happened to me during the lockdown in March 2020. It is controversial. It's in your face. I kind of like some of that, to be honest. I like people who are radical. I like people that are rebellious. Why? Because they bring interest into the world. They're often the ones that lead to being innovators that create amazing things. We need that, right? We need people that have the boldness, the braveness to step out of the box that we're all put in and say, look at this, here's a different perspective, right? So, yeah. So Naomi Wolf is born November 12th, 1962 at 4:10 in the morning. She used to be such a presence. She has written so many amazing books about women, women's health, women's sexuality. She was a regular on news channels. She was outspoken on X, Twitter, all the social media platforms. And when she started to speak out about the pandemic, she was canceled, and more canceled. Her network of journalists and people high up in the social stratosphere of New York City, where she was whining and dining, all of a sudden nobody wanted to have anything to do with her because she didn't want to get the jab. She didn't want the vaccine. And I know a little bit about that because my boyfriend and his family also did not get vaccinated. And so we were canceled from our social circles during that time, which was just a few years ago. And it's an interesting book. I will say that. I think it's an important read because I think it does give a perspective. And that's the thing. In all the divisiveness of the world, and yes, I am going to get to her astrology. In all the divisiveness of the world, it is important to listen to all voices, to really be able to say, yeah, this is where I lean. This is what I'm listening to. This is my reality. But I also am very aware that the people here, all over also have an opinion and have information. Wow, why not be curious about that information, that opinion, that perspective, that point of view. In that, we wind up better educated, and you may learn something. You may not be so this way or that way. You might start to move towards the middle. Wouldn't that be awesome? So her chart is most definitely unusual. And let me just say, of course, this woman is a badass, outspoken, radical woman. Of course she is. She is born in the year of a Yang water tiger, the month of Yin metal pig, the day of Yang wood tiger, and the hour of a Yang fire tiger. She's got a fire tiger, a wood tiger, and a water tiger, and except for her month being Yin metal, it's all Yang. She is an absolute force to be reckoned with. This is someone who never is still. This is someone who thrives on the drama, the excitement, the story that she's chasing after as a journalist. She is someone who, backed into a corner, will come out fighting. She can be manipulative. She can be feisty. She's an adventurist to an extreme. She is a survivor. She is, as you can tell from her book, Facing the Beast, she will come back up even stronger and ready to deal a greater blow. She is smart. She's innovative, creative. What else can I say about this woman? She's independent like crazy. She is on her own path, warpath, depending on what her topic is. And on top of that, she's also very competitive. She wants to be the best that she can be. The things that happened during COVID were like nothing we had experienced in my lifetime, where our civil liberties were taken away. And I know in the blink of an eye, me, along with millions of other gig workers, I had a robust, vibrant kids yoga, mindfulness, kids yoga business that I had built with my beautiful hands, my sweetheart, my brilliant creative mind. I had built this thing. I was doing teacher trainings, teaching at schools and daycares all over my community of Richmond, Virginia, and wrote books, created a DVD. I was everywhere. A little bit of a local celebrity. And I was teaching thousands of kids. And then in the blink of an eye, when I felt my career, 20 years just about of a career, rising, like, you know, that feeling like, yeah, like I finally am, like it's all coming together and you've got all these amazing things planned, events and workshops, retreats and yoga camps, and all of a sudden it's gone. And I went from being so out in the public to isolated in my home. And the toll that took on my mental health, it completely destroyed my career. I never went back. The schools never went back to having my kind of programs again. The whole industry shifted. And one comfort was that I knew I wasn't alone. There were lots of other musicians and artists and other yoga teachers and whatever who also lost all their work. The trauma that I have had from that experience will probably be with me for the rest of my life. It was that devastating. And anyone that had a business that they did with all their heart and soul and lost it in the pandemic knows what that feels like. It is like, it's a death unlike any other. Now, Naomi is mostly, not surprising, her own element. Of her 5 elements, she is yang wood. 45% of her pie chart of the 5 elements is her own. So of course she needs a big audience, she needs lots of supporters, and it's all about the Naomi show. She has a big, big presence. And she has a strong amount of water nourishing that wood at 27%. This is a fake follow self chart. What her output is, what she creates, is balanced at 15%. But what she manifests from that and her career are both weak. Earth at 6%, metal at 11%. So in that, what you want to see is always trying to get to balance. So earth and metal combined are going to give her not only success in money, but also a greater sense of control in her career and feeling more grounded. So when you look at the trajectory of her career, we come across earth and metal. This was ages 21 to 30, 1984, when she moved into a yang earth monkey luck cycle, all yang again. And that monkey was cutting all her tigers, yang wood and the monkey. Real battle that she walked into. And this was when her best-selling book, The Beauty Myth, came out. Now, this is interesting, right? Because I have said before, 2 things happen with conflict. And we're seeing this now with Kamala Harris, that she is the dog and the dragon in her chart, and she has got all this conflict with this year being a year of the dragon. Now, on one end, you can say, yes, tons of conflict, but if you can manage and handle all that conflict, something beautiful can happen where the conflict doesn't break things apart, but breaks something open. What is inside the tiger? Creativity, creative projects, action, 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 and hidden money. Aha, interesting, yeah? So that's going on. And I would imagine she is a controversial person. So it's not an easy walk because she is always going to have critics. She's always going to have people condemning what she has to say. But like I said, we need people that come out of nowhere and sing a different song. Otherwise, we're all going to wind up numb-headed and asleep. So yeah, if you've got a different song, sing it and sing it loud so the rest of us can learn it, because we want to be curious about the different voices in the room. The next luck cycle she moved into was when she was a political advisor. She's involved with the Clinton administration, oddly enough. And she was all over the news. She was doing lots of articles. She wrote the book, The End of America. I'm curious to know what that's about. And this is 1994 to 2004. This is a fire, yin fire sheep, because we all go through these luck cycles that are 10-year periods dependent on your birthday and time. And this was a time like where before the previous luck cycle was all about breaking into her career and breaking into success and all the money that comes with it from all the different things she's involved in. Then this period, 1994 to 2004, is all about innovative change. It's radical. It's almost like her fire is literally lit, and she has all this wood in, being her element to feed this. She's got a lot to say, and she was so busy. Now we have direct revenue. She is getting lots of income. She's traveling. She is doing lots of things, and she's playing different roles. Journalist, writer, advocate, political advisor. 2004, she comes into a huge fire period, a yang fire horse. My God, this is like not only a revolution, but this is like so much creative energy. What do I do with all this? There's so much fire going on. And inside of the horse, there is also, again, mention of wealth, mention of really like prospering in her life and just being so prolific in all of her writing. Now, interesting that the next luck cycle includes the pandemic. This is 2014 to 2024, which is now. This is huge for Naomi Wolf. This is a yin wood snake that she just came out of. The snake. And all three of her tigers spell trouble. This speaks of legal battles, health issues, divorce. Anything could go wrong. It's going to go wrong. And, 6 years into this luck cycle, the pandemic happened. And she was saying, to hell with this jab that doesn't have enough research for it to be going into everyone's body. She was against the masks. She was against the lockdowns, all of it. And again, she got canceled because, the directive had to be very clear. They did not want the American people having any other views other than the one that they were telling us. And because we'd never been through a pandemic before, how did we know the difference? And yet there were lots of people that skewed off into those directions. Why? Because they questioned. They looked at a different view with curiosity, wonder, and educated themselves about other possible outcomes, other possible views. Again, this is an important thing. It's not that you have to agree, but in the world of all this information, you got to do your own research, friend. So she's got this horrible penalty, the collapse of her career. In 2018, she got remarried. There is damage from all of this penalty with this snake to her own sovereign self. She has been called a conspiracy theorist. What is that? Just wondering. Julian Assange, they labeled him too. And these labels are like X. You go over there in a corner. We're not going to listen to your voice. And we're going to use these terminologies to make it so that no one else should be listening to your voice either, because we deem that so. I don't know that I can agree with that. Everyone has a voice. Everyone has something to say. Why not listen? What is the fear behind educating ourselves? This is interesting, right? I'm curious to, please keep your comments, positive and kind, but I'm curious. What are your thoughts on all of this? She was banned from social media. And, just like me, her career collapsed. And you've got to rebuild. You got to find your way back. And for this tiger girl, she clawed her way back. She is clawing her way back. But is anybody reading her book? Is it on the bestseller list? Are they letting that be on the bestseller list? Who are they? Then this is so interesting, right? So April 2024, she entered into a Yang Wood Dragon luck cycle, which mirrors her life pillar. And we all have this secret, hidden fifth pillar that says exactly why you incarnated in this life at the exact time that you did to have the karmic journey that you are meant to have. On top of that, the life pillar is mirrored. She enters a new luck cycle in a year that is also mirroring this. It is a triple dose. I hope to God that Naomi is paying attention, because this year is going to show her in the Cliff Notes condensed to hell version what her whole life is about. And then the next 9 years after, as she continues through her luck cycle, she will continue to have echoes of this. And it is all about her. It is about everything that has to do with how she identifies with herself. Who am I? What do I believe? What do I stand for? Who are my people? Where's my community? Who are my friends? Where's my tribe? It's also about having money that's coming in from all different directions. She will always have money. She is a very resourceful woman. She will always have income. She needs to be careful with her health. This is also very much about the father. And that father can be God the Father. It can be her literal father or other father figures. It can also be, for someone in this kind of line of work, the patriarchy. Interesting, huh? This is also recognizing, tucked into the dragon, two other components. Harm to that father. Interesting, huh? And the mother. So her parents, who were apparently atheist hippies, are very much a part of her story. There's also mention of the government, of legal, dealing with legal problems. It can also be somebody that works with the law, works with property, things like that. This feels like there are legalities that she is going to have to wrestle through in the next 10 years. And she is also looking at, again, what is her identity? How does she identify with herself? And recognizing that her persona, she has to sometimes put on different masks. So it's a very, very, very interesting time for her. The dragon with the tiger is such a lightning rod of action. As if she needed any more push from her astrology to be even more active. But I will say this. She needs to be super careful next year. As many of our tiger friends, and believe you me, I will have so many celebrity charts to read for you when we get to 2025, because the year of the snake, for anyone with a tiger, snake, or monkey in their chart, is going to possibly be experiencing this penalty. You remember the luck cycle she just ended that wiped out her career, erased her from social media. I actually noticed that her book is published by Worth It, printed in Canada by Chelsea Green Publishing. I'm wondering if she was even able to use her original publisher. But anyway, point being, next year for her is going to feel like a slide backwards into the luck cycle she just came out of. And she's going to need to watch her mouth, watch her step, because the likelihood of her falling into legal problems is rich. It is very strong. And, you know, that is one of the risks of being an outspoken, revolutionary, radical person. Look at Elon Musk. There are a lot of people in our world that are big on stage and walk to the beat of a different drum. So I would definitely pay attention to what's going on for her with next year. But in the meantime, friends, it's not an easy book. It's not an easy read. But it begs to ask the question, what are the other conversations in the room? And again, getting curious and educating yourself on all the different truths, all the different voices. So thank you so much for watching and listening, and I appreciate your positive or at least kind comments. And until next time, please be well.